Well, hello, my friends, and how you doing? Welcome to how we are keeping ourselves accountable in 2026, bestie, because we aren't tolerating our own bullshit anymore. Or at least I'm not tolerating my own bullshit anymore. And I've made a really cool guide to help you do the same. I wanted to share a little bit today about that, as well as draw some cards for you guys. It has been a little while since we've talked spirituality, and since that has been a big part of my shift in my self-care and my life over the past while, I thought we were due. So welcome back, everybody. My name is Carissa McIntyre. I am an indie author, also known as ladymackxo, and I dabble in pretty much everything at this point. I am the Jill of all things. I used to make a joke that I was the Jill of all R-rated trades, in the sense that I did education, I sold things, I wrote stories, but I've made a lot of pivots along the way. Some of that stuff will come back, some won't, but if you're new here and you're wondering, that is why my channel is an absolute smorgasbord of all things. And today's thing will be reading tarot cards and telling you about this incredible journal that I put together for the new year. This is not the first journal that I've made, not at all, but this one is really important for me. And I think from the feedback that I've gotten from some of the people who have picked up the digital journal as I was launching it, it's going to be big for others. So before I break down a little of where that came from and what I plan to do with it, I would like to put this out there that I will be drawing 4 cards today throughout my video, 2 from my Light Seers Tarot deck and 2 from the Oracle deck I have by Rebecca Campbell. I would like you to kind of think of those 1 to 4 numbers. Maybe all 4 call to you. Maybe it's 2, maybe it's 3, maybe it's 1 and 3. I don't know. You don't have to tell me. It'd be cool if you left it below in the comments or anything below. But I want you to think of those numbers, because throughout the video, I will be pulling cards 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I hope that whatever card I pull, that number you have chosen, the message resonates with you. That being said, if you aren't new here, you know that this last year of my life is now what I'm considering my white rabbit. And I already thought I had those pivotal life-changing moments that absolutely change your entire life and really change you as a person. Yeah, I definitely thought I would have experienced them by now, and I would have put a label on a few. But going through therapy and coming out the end of this year in particular, I'm realizing that my white rabbit has been a fucking mountain that I have been climbing, and I finally hit the absolute peak of it. And that's not to say that crazy shit isn't going to happen to me and be awful and change my life in the future, but who I am as a person and how I handle it has changed significantly over this past while. Taking care of myself became very, very important, but something that I have absolutely dropped the ball on, and something that I know some people are probably tired of me hearing me constantly talk about how I was the victim. And no. Like, I'm not saying it as an excuse. I'm saying it to continue to remind myself to be accountable, that there are a lot of things that I need to do for myself that I can't just buy my own bullshit or give an excuse for and then not do it. I'm not editing that out. Oh, I'm making a mess of it. I had Christmas shit everywhere. Christmas threw up in my house the other day, and I love it because after everything that I've been through this year, I needed cheer. I needed happy. I needed joy. I needed it everywhere. So literally behind me, there's like a Christmas tree. I just moved a bunch of stuff out of the way so that I could film. And yeah. Have you had Christmas up in your house yet? Is your tree up? All right, I'm going to pull card 1 as I kind of talk a little more. learning how to take care of myself better and hold myself accountable in my self-care, it just started to feel like a chore, and it started to really warp my mindset on how I felt about myself. So I started coming up with like my top 10 list, or my crucial things that I needed to sort of do every day, bare minimum. Like as a 40-year-old, almost 40-year-old woman, there are things that I need to do every day to make sure that I'm like maintaining my body and that I'm doing the things that I want in my life, right? So these cards have been totally cleared and cleansed, and I'm going to pull one. I'm going to pull one right now. The Emperor. Oh, that's a powerful card. So card one is the Emperor. The divine masculine, authority, power, a natural leader, structure, strategic and analytical thinking, taking action, promotion. The Emperor's message is one of ambitions met and success found. Often seen as the card of the divine masculine, the Emperor brings forth a desire to build a better world one brick at a time. Use your mind as well as your heart and rise to power as you lead your own evolution. I lead the circumstances in my world with confidence, harmony, and generosity. So that's an interesting card, the Emperor. All right, so that was card one. If that was your card, there's an interesting idea behind the feminine and the masculine power. And for a lot of us who have been alone for a long time, we can kind of take on both roles. And that can be sort of off-putting when we meet people who are very structured in one role or the other. And it can be hard for people who are in both roles. So it's an interesting card. Anyway, I digress. I started with this list of things that I really needed. And whether or not that list applies to you or matters, that's not quite what went in here. But I started with a list. And then that kind of evolved into like a checklist that I was keeping up with every day, but I had to tweak it a few times. So a lot of tweaking went into my final draft. And let's be honest, this is for me. So here's my final first copy. I even put my own signature in it for myself. I did this for me because I found that I had a couple of tracker sheets, and I couldn't figure out a good way to amalgamate them with my daily to-dos and in my journal, my planner. And I pivot my planner and journal every year or a few years. I'm a big scheduler. I could not get through my life without scheduling. It would fall apart. But because of my work life or my to-dos or motherhood or 101 things as they go throughout the years, how I structure and schedule my life changes. So I don't have like a set, like this last few months and going into 2026, I have a set planner and a journal that I plan to use, but it didn't really flow with sticking a bunch of extra sheets in or trying to figure that out. And in the past, I've had journals where, you could make the whole sheets and put them in. And I thought about kind of bringing that back, but I didn't want to change my journal. So in the end, I just ended up making one. I literally made an entire year guide. Now the font in this one ended up really big because I had planned for it to be a 6x9 sized, like the size of my books. But then at the last minute, I thought, no, I want it big. I want like an 8x11, full page, full book. So here's a weekly breakdown, and it's completely bare for a reason. Obviously, because I'm not going to be the one dictating what self-care you need to do. I want a beautiful space, and it doesn't all look like that. It's all sectioned in by month, and so I'll do a thorough breakdown in a minute. But I don't mind having a to-do journal and like a planner of my schedule and my life and stuff, and then also a small one. I don't know, call this quite small, but the idea behind it was having a small one that was set up similar with like the month scheduled but it was dedicated solely to self-care. So it didn't have a huge monthly breakdown for all of my appointments and all of those things. And also some days life gets a little chaotic, especially if you've been following. I mean, my kid's got two broken. He's finally attempting school for the first time in like 2 weeks. He has been doing online, but two of his classes are shop classes, and they're very in-person classes, and he's starting to fall behind. So he's going today. He's in better shape, but so my life's always chaotic. And instead of fighting that, I've given into that flow of chaos, which means that my life is not structured in any sense that would probably fit with a lot of people. So yes, there are a lot of days where, like, I have an alarm and I get up and I have a morning routine and stuff, but there are some times when that has to get thrown out the window if my kid's got to be at the 7 a.m. CAS clinic, or I've got to be at a workshop online for 7:30, or my kid has a volleyball tournament and we have to be across town at 7:45, and you know the other kid has to be at school at 9, and morning routines get moved around. So sometimes I could get up at 6 and do my yoga and do my stretches and have breakfast and do all my self-care, and it's like, yay, I'm in a really good space. And other times, like, mornings are fucking crazy and my whole day gets crazy. So it was important for me to not put so much pressure on get all these things done all this time in this order, and more like, here is a checklist of the ways you need to care for yourself today. Make sure you put them in. And a lot of them get slotted into these, what I'm going to follow up with another. I have a whole thing I want to do on like how 15-minute segments have slowly been changing my life. So I'll circle back to that in another video. But a lot of these things, I just give myself a 15-minute slot here and there throughout the day, and I do my self-care. And that's become a lot easier on me to take care of myself properly and not feel so fucking overwhelmed because I am the only person in my life and I am doing everything for everyone, including myself, and running my business and doing all the things. And then on top of everything else behind the scenes, yeah, my son with the accident, this crazy court case that's finally fucking coming to an end that I will also be talking about. This year really was my white rabbit. My this is where it changes. Done. Full accountability, full vulnerability. We're making changes now because I'm done. So I'm going to pull another card here. Here's card 2. I'm 13 minutes into the video. So I made this, and did it ever fucking come out beautifully? And it is exactly what I need every month to guide myself through my self-care. So after I pull this card, I'm going to take you on a little journey through it. This is card 2 and the last card that I'm going to pull from the tarot deck. Oh, it's the moon. Beautiful pull. I do not know all the cards. There's 72 cards in an oracle deck, or in a tarot deck, and 44 cards in an oracle deck. And I can pull the same card over and over and over again and know the underlying message, and I still need to like look up the message because 8,000 worlds live in my head. I am an author. Then I have everything else going on. I got 3 brain cells, and none of them can be used right now to memorize either of these decks, even though I've been using them. Well, it's just decks in general, even though I've been using them my whole life. Again, I could tell you like a general message of some of the cards, most of the cards by now, but like when I'm pulling them for somebody, I like to have my guide for you. So the moon is illusions, hidden truths, the unknown, trusting your intuition, facing your fears, the watery nature of the subconscious mind, mystery, symbolism and metaphor, perception, uncertainty, and dreams. When we're faced with uncertainty and illusion, it can feel like we are drowning. Trust that you will be okay, even if you can't seem to distinguish up from down right now. I am safe, and I reach new levels of unconscious knowing as I surrender to the will of the universe. So I pulled the moon card quite a bit when I was going through some really tough times, because I was also really struggling with faith. Faith is a hard one for me because I don't have a lot of good to remind myself to have faith for. So having faith in something that has constantly not been so good, right? But without faith and without spirituality, I I am left with nothing. And there's actually a really interesting psychological research behind people that have no faith at all, and what's called this like unconscious God complex, where not to say those people absolutely think of themselves as God, but when there is no higher power and there is no faith and there's no unknown and no guidance and no anything, you become the only person ever for anything ever. And that's not to say like not taking accountability, because shit, I'm taking accountability for everything right now. What I mean is having faith in that unknown. And when you can't have that, and I definitely struggled with that for a long time. It just came out one day in therapy, talking about the like how it just feels so heavy when it's just you. And I want to have some faith and some spirituality, but I grew up in a really twisted, warped view of Christianity, which warped my view of all religion and all spirituality. And anyway, that's probably also worth a deep dive. Welcome to my journal. This thing is fucking awesome and I'm so proud of it. So I'm just going to take you through 1 month, and then there's 12 months in the year. We don't need to just regurgitate. But essentially, I'll have like really cute little, like a thing for the month, right? Like each month has like a little like cutesy little quote. And then for every month, it's got some themes, some stuff to focus on, like a little tip, like a little witchy tip, a little natural remedy, a little idea of something to do under the full moon. Now, again, the calendar itself I made small because I didn't put the numbers in it because when I make another one for next year, because I'm going to tweak it, I'll listen to all feedback, but I like filling the month out. I kind of thought it would be interesting and fun for people to spend the 5 minutes, put the month in, and then underneath that, I did include all the full moon dates, all of the special dates, all of the, like anything that's kind of important in the spiritual, witchy. It does have a lot of witchy stuff in it. It's got space for tarot cards. It's got space for menstrual tracking. It has, again, it's every couple of pages has some little information on like some maybe related to winter natural remedies or related to spring self-care, some DIY stuff. It has space for goal setting. And then this was what I needed. I needed these blank spaces every day so that I could track my water intake, my food, if I'm doing my yoga, if I've gone a walk in, my steps. That's the self-care that I wanted. So for every month, it has the right amount of days that you would need. So February is a little shorter, right? It's only got, I think I did leave space for like that fifth week. And then all the others have 6, just because some months start and end in the middle of the week. And then you can end up with like a 5-week month, but it's kind of like messy. And I didn't want that. So every month has more than enough space. You never have to kind of roll over from one month to another. I have a space for goal settings and some space. Oh, that's the menstrual tracking. And then I have space for if you do tarot cards and maybe what you've pulled and what they say. And then I have some space for brain dumping and like notes throughout the month for your self-care tracking. So for me, that was all that I needed. I needed a space to keep track of certain things. So every week I'm going to take time to fill this out, like in my, those things that I want to keep track of. And then I put a little bookmark in it, take the moon, stick it right there. And that's where I am. I love it. I made a digital version first and I got incredible feedback right off the hop. People were like, it's done. Just give it to me. It's what I need. Like it has all of the special dates throughout the year. I did mention it's got all of the full moons. I'm going to pull an oracle card now. So this is card 3. I needed it. I needed to start being more accountable and having it right directly in front of my face. The things that I need to take care of myself as an adult woman that has a lot on her plate and needs to be in good spiritual standing, in good mental standing, and in good physical standing. I'm going to pull this card, but also all of these decks were cleansed. Find your center, stay true to you, and call it to you. Focus in on what your gut is telling you. Find your center. Since ancient times, stones have helped humans find their center and their way home through labyrinths and along paths and roads. This card is a call to remember who you truly are and to return to it again and again. Oh, how fitting. Return to the best you that you could be if you were truly taking care of yourself. Now, again, I don't have anything in here that tells you what to do. It's fully blank. I do not care if what you need to track is not what I needed to track. I think it's important for us to have this beautiful space to track it. So whether it is how often you go to the gym, whether it is your meal planning, whether it is how often you don't pick up the phone and call that person, how often you stand up for yourself, how often you drink your water, I don't care. I would love for you to grab a copy of this because it would mean a lot to me to see it in the hands of everybody who needs that accountability and that guidance. I have been talking a lot on my Facebook about me taking accountability for myself. I have started a series of certain amount of day challenges of keeping on top of like all of these things and maybe more and doing this and doing that. And it's been really good for me. I plan in the early 2026 to maybe start some kind of small group around people who are trying to keep accountable for certain things and maybe need a little help. I'm going to pull the fourth card now. Good luck. Auspicious wishes granted and blessings. So I was just going to say, my idea behind the group is not any kind of sales group, is not any kind of monetization, is not whatever. I have this calling of making a real small group where we can just check in once or twice a day and be like, did you get all the shit done and you needed to get done? Yeah, I did. Or no, I didn't. Okay, well, like, do you need a reminder? Like, not that I'm looking to take on more, but I really feel in my gut that by putting this out there, I will draw to me the people that all also need that little bit of spiritual uplifting, that little bit of accountability, that little bit of love, that little bit of friendship, and it'll help all of us grow into the best versions that we could be in 2026. So let me read this card real quick. Although it just screams to me like the good luck is coming, the good things. This is the card of good fortune and positive outcomes. What's your heart's deepest desire? To feel good and heal and help others and feel good and heal. And that's literally what I'm talking about in all of this. If you could make one wish, what would it be? Stones have long been associated with good luck and prosperity for the beholder. From myths about touching or kissing stones, I have kissed the Blarney stone. Fun fact. To bring good fortune, to wearing lucky charms made of white crystal quartz. I open my arms wide to receive the blessings of my life now. Blessings, blessings everywhere I turn. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I am pretty blessed these days, all things considering. Life got really fucked this year. Really fucked. And I really started to crack, guys. But I pulled myself out of it in a way that I have never really seen in myself before. I am blossoming in a way I've never really seen before. Like, no mistake. Like, it's only been a little while. Like, your girl here ain't healed. And I may never be. But I'm on a really good path of awareness and healing and accountability and self-love. And I feel really good, all things considering. And I'm really excited for the next few months. I'm really excited for 2026. I know the blessings are coming, and I know that this is the end of all of that yuck, and I can leave it behind and feel good and go forward happy and blessed and free. So that is all for me. I hope that one of these cards spoke to you. I sure know the good luck card spoke to me. I am so excited to dig into this. I plan to spend a few days going into the Christmas holidays doing the 13 wishes, which I will be posting about. If you do not know about the tarot card and the 13 wishes and the guidance and the focus for the new year, I would love to share that with you in an upcoming video. If you do know about it, comment below. I'll message you. Maybe we can all kind of connect and do one together. And I will be back soon with some more videos on other things that I'm working on. If this book called to you, please grab a copy. You can find it. You can also get a digital copy, and as far as I know, it'll work on all devices. You can just screenwrite on it or whatever, but I know for me, I needed a paperback copy. I needed to hold this in my hands. I needed to write on it. I needed to put pen to paper and fix my life and hold myself accountable and see it right in front of me. So if that's you too, please grab a copy. You can find it from Amazon, but it would mean the world to me if you would grab a copy from me, although that does involve me shipping it to you. But you can grab it from my website. Everything is automated. It runs really well, really smoothly. And yeah, I guess that's it. I have some weird horror movies to review, some crafts I want to talk about, and some other things going into the new year, as well as that 13 wishes and some other stuff coming up. So thank you for being here. Please stay tuned. I got my shit together. I'm back on track. Lady Mac is here. Lady Mac is out. We'll chat soon, guys. Much love. Stay kinky and keep reading.